was not at all inspired by Earthbound. Mortis Ghost had not played it at the time he made the game. It takes nearly 1 million XP to get to level 50. The Grand Brachial is the only grand item you can have multiple of. The Ashley Bat is actually worse than the Catchurio Bat from a statistical standpoint. Alias Conrad Colwood's favorite song from the soundtrack is Burned Bodies. Pepper Steak is the 6th most viewed RPGmaker track on YouTube. Every song in the top 5 belongs to Omori. The Purified Flesh Maze in Zone 1 is the only room that transitions into itself. Despite Zachary claiming it's the true ending, the Space Chimp ending is most likely not canon, as even alias Conrad Colwood considers it to be non-canon. The Queen and Sugar are the only female characters in the game. Hugo, Zachary, Sugar, and Enoch are the only human characters in the game. Sugar was confirmed by Mortis Ghost to be trans in the 15th anniversary livestream. The library receptionist in Zone 2 has the most lines of dialogue out of any character in the game. Enoch's design is based off the Book of Enoch, a scrapbook from the Bible which talks about human-angel hybrids known as Nephilim. The Nephilim are stated to be very large, hence Enoch's large appearance. Sugar can be beaten as soon as you unlock her, however it is rather difficult. Daedon is actually a mutant, infected by the cow bite he got in the room. Sugar is the only boss in the game to have more than 10,000 HP, having exactly 12,000. Sugar is also not the only boss to be not immune to poison. The Queen is also susceptible to it. Some rudiments of property, both versions of Panic and Ballville, and the Space Chimps theme are the only songs in the OST to have less views than Pandemic Inverse, the most popular fan game track. Speaking of fan games, the game has 18 total fan games completed and translated to English. The ones I recommend the most are Home and Sincere Deceit. The Batter's Battle and Talk Spray actually come from the same image. The maximum amount of money you can obtain is 999,999. This is most likely a hard check from the engine, as it takes an absurdly long amount of time to get that money. The Bad Batter has just over half the HP of Daedon, and Judge has the same HP of the latter. It's entirely possible to kill Enoch's first form. However, it takes an extremely long time as he has 10,000 HP and drops nothing on defeat. There's also no special dialogue, making it completely pointless. Gray Pencil and Stille are not included in some versions of the OST, such as Don't Bleed on the Suits upload of the soundtrack. The tracks are on the Unproductive Funtime website for you to download. The Meaning of His Tears actually has a special part in-game that isn't in the soundtrack. Here's what it sounds like. Enoch's fight is the only fight to use different characters. RPGmaker needs to have every sprite change be a different character. The Critic Burnt is the only enemy in the game that is inarguably murder. Every other enemy either makes an attempt on his life or requests to be killed, like Hugo. As evident by the Critic and Pastel Burnt, the heads of the Burnt are likely not completely shot off, but so tall they can't fit in the battle frame. Enoch's sprites are so large that not only are they part of his tileset, they're split in two to fit the aspect ratio. Hugo's father is completely unknown. It can't be the Batter, as Mortis confirmed the Batter didn't exist until the game was opened. According to ACC, the 14 residents referenced in the main menu theme are Hugo, the Elson, Zachary, Sugar, the Judge, Valerie, the Batter, Alpha, Omega, Epsilon, the Queen, Daedon, Enoch, and Japhet. There are many unused tracks from the OST released on the Unproductive Funtime website. My favorites are Spool and Hip 2-2. Zone 1 is the only zone to have multiple pseudonyms. Zone 2 goes by Bismarck, and Zone 3 goes by Vesper. Zone 2 is the only zone to not have an element introduced in it. Zone 3 is the only zone where the Judge is not present at all. The Room is the only zone to have Elson, but not Burnt. Zone 0 is the only zone to have one color palette. The Room has a red color palette and Chapter 0. Daedon is the only character to cuss in the game. He even said a slur in a previous translation. Japhet is the only character to be apologetic after their death. Enoch is the only character to have 3 separate themes, those being Front Gate, The Race of 1,000 Pounds, and Arrosto de un Assassino. Sugar is the only character to leave behind a corpse after dying. Valerie is the only character to not have any known personality. The reason Global is on the soundtrack is because the Elson were voiced by ACC. The Elson and Enoch are the only characters to be voiced by the developers, with Enoch being voiced by Mortis Ghost. Despite the batter being confirmed to not be human, Japhet still refers to him as a man. This is not present in the 3.0 translation. If you wish to grind to level 50 in Zone 1 by fighting the One-Eyed Spectres, it will take approximately 2,778 fights to get to the level. Zachary is the only character in the game to have multiple talk sounds. The Queen is most likely the one to send out the spectral infestation as stated by Enoch. There's some massive theories about this stuff that I'm not gonna go into. The Elson look the way they are due to a disease. And lastly, the reason why the Elson are populous throughout the world is because a scientist cloned himself enough times to run throughout the world. This is also why there's no female Elson. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe, and comment a fact that you found interesting. Be sure to also let me know if you want me to cover 50 facts for any fan games, or if you simply want a sequel to this video, and I'll see you in the next one.